What is going on, ladies and gents, all my fellow riders out there? Hope y'all having a good one today. In today's video, I'm gonna be going over 5 things that you should not be doing while riding on a motorcycle. And of course, there's a million things you shouldn't be doing, but we're gonna limit this video to 5 in order to prevent from having a 40-some minute video. You feel me? So 5 things you should not be doing while riding a motorcycle. Let's get into it. Okay guys, number 1 is do not ride outside of your comfort zone. Okay, riding outside of your comfort zone is like the quickest way to get yourself in a situation that you didn't want to be in, right? That's the quickest way to get yourself, put yourself in unnecessary risk or put yourself in danger, right? Because you're going beyond what you can handle. All right, so, and this is not to say, this point is not to say you can't eventually work your way up to being able to handle more things on the road. I'm just saying you should judge yourself accordingly and ride constantly, always ride within your own limits while gradually trying to work up to what you can eventually do. You know what I'm trying to say? But just doing something that you know good and well you shouldn't be doing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right? You know, you can eventually work your way up and get better and better and better. But stuff like going a certain speed that you know you don't feel comfortable with, you know what I'm saying? Or ride, a lot of this happens on group rides, really, right? Like I said, this could be riding at a speed that's too fast that you don't feel comfortable going. This could be riding at a time of day that you're not comfortable with riding, like nighttime, right? This could be a certain route that you're taking, you know what I'm saying? You just don't feel comfortable. Maybe the visibility is a little limited or whatever, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of situations that you have to judge yourself accordingly and know what you can and can't handle and stick by that, you know what I'm saying? So you can be as safe as possible. But that sums up the first point, like just assess yourself, but do not go beyond, way beyond your own limitations, right? Because that will put you in some danger, okay? Okay guys, point number 2 is do not assume other drivers can see you, okay? We all know these are motorcycles, right? These things are way smaller compared to all of the other vehicles, especially if you're on a scooter or something. Guys, it is common for you to get caught up in someone's blind spot and they don't know that you're there, right? You know, I still drive cars and stuff like that too, and yeah, it's baffling, you know, how quickly motorcycles can disappear in your blind spot. Especially if we have big vehicles. You're talking about semi trucks and big trucks and vehicles. It can be even easier for them to not see you, right? And you know, it's not always their fault, you know what I'm saying? You may be riding the way, you may be staying. That's why I advise not to stay side by side to a vehicle for too long. I always advise to ride in the way to where the drivers can see you, but you should never assume that a driver can see you, okay? And not only blind spots being an issue, people just drive crazy in general, okay? Like, you'll be on the highway and folks will try to take 3 lanes, right? You could be safely all the way in 1 lane, but the driver will try to pull a maneuver to where you can get, like, just like that, you can get like compromised. They could be switching 3 lanes and not see you in the process, right? So it's always a good thing to be aware of that, to be aware of the behaviors of a driver, and always keep in the back of your head, like, okay, I may be riding to where they can see me. That's another thing, like riding in a lane position to where you think they can see you or whatever, like how I'm doing now, they can see me in the mirror or something like that, right? But still doing this, I still ride very carefully in a way to where I know, you know what I'm saying, to where I'm in the safe zone essentially, right? And that's the part, that's just that's the point, right? That's the bulk of the point, you know, just never assume that they see you. Okay, point number 3, do not tailgate other vehicles, okay? You know, the main thing with tailgating, really, you know, nobody should really be tailgating, to be honest. It's such a dangerous thing to do, especially if you're in cities where the drivers just are aggressive, you feel me? You know, but it happens, you know, as a result of aggressive driving. It's a lot of tailgating going, where you, especially, you got more on the line being on this bike. So I would strongly advise you not to tailgate, all right? Number one, when you tailgate, man, you reduce the amount of time you have to react to a situation if something happens, right? That's a big thing, right? I have enough distance to here to where if something happens right now, I have time to react to it and adjust accordingly. If you're up, if you're right there on top of them, you gotta have cat-like reflexes in order to catch something and adjust to it. All right, guys, that's the main point in that, okay? The other thing is, these folks are aggressive, like I said, depending on where you're from. You know, I'm near Atlanta, right? These drivers are aggressive, so don't be surprised if one of these drivers brake check you. You feel me? Like, they don't care. A lot of them do not care what you own. They see that you tailgating them, they might brake check you. So you got to keep the driver's behavior in the back of your head as well, because you never know what they're gonna do as well, okay? So, you know, reaction time plus not being able to predict a driver's behavior is two great points for you not to tailgate, you know, and I don't think it's worth it, right? We may be on motorcycles and we may be able to maneuver a lot better through traffic or whatever, but you just never know. You know, I think it's always best to play it safe when it comes to trying to ride somebody's tail like that. It's just not worth it, in my opinion. So, guys, do not tailgate other drivers. Okay, point number 4, and I'm kind of combining this all into one big one. But point number 4 is going to be about cornering, okay? Let me get over right quick. When it comes to cornering, you know, do not engage your clutch when you're in the middle of a corner. Do not brake excessively in the corner, and this one pertains to the clutch as well, but do not try to shift gears in the corner, right? All three of those things I'm combining in one, and it's also pertaining to cornering, right? When you're in the cut of a corner, right? You're in the middle of a corner, right? Do not excessively brake, do not engage the clutch, or do not try to shift gears, okay? And the main reason I'm saying this is because any of those actions can result in a loss of traction, okay? A loss of traction and a loss of momentum when you're in the corner, okay? Which can put yourself in a really bad predicament, especially in the corner, depending on the road conditions and depending on the weather conditions, okay? You do not want to lose traction in the middle of a corner, all right? You know, weather, leaves, pebbles, or whatever, they're already at a risk of those in the corner. But if you already got 2 tires on the road, you know what I'm saying? If one of those, if your drive tire loses traction or something like that, then, you know, you got to you might be put yourself in a predicament, essentially, is what I'm saying, right? You put yourself at risk of going down, greater risk, really. And so any of those actions that I just described, try to refrain from that. Try to set yourself up ahead of time to where you can make that corner as smooth, as safe as possible, you know what I'm saying? And that, primarily taking the right line, can solve a lot of that. But make sure you set yourself up before you take the corner, so you don't have to adjust or anything. You don't have to brake excessively. You don't have to change gears or something like that while you're in the corner, right? Because you can lose traction and you will lose momentum when you try to do any of those things, okay? So very important when it comes to those corners. My last point, guys, point number 5, is pertaining to gear, okay? And I might sound a little hypocritical here because I don't have a jacket or armor jacket or anything on. I got my helmet on, I got my gloves on, you know, I got the shoes, I got jeans, right? I got everything but a jacket, essentially, okay? But that doesn't make what I'm about to say any less true, though, you know what I'm saying? I should have some on because it's just hot in the summer. I don't have nothing that meshes. I don't have nothing that meshes with the wind a lot with this jacket. You know, I ain't trying to get heat deprived or nothing like that, you know. But excuses aside, you know, not wearing the appropriate protective gear, you know, and this is the big giving, guys, but wearing the right protective gear can mean a difference between you getting critically injured or not. I mean, we all know that threat is really real, okay? The possibility of injury without gear and with gear, you know, you're looking at a very dramatic difference in the event of you having an accident, okay? So it's very important, and goes without saying, make sure you have the right gear on, man, and not just any gear actually good stuff. You know, I don't go cheap. I go cheap on a lot of stuff, but I do not go cheap on motorcycle gear, okay? I want to find some quality products because this is my life on the line, you feel me? And so I would suggest you guys to do the same, you know what I'm saying? Just like for my example, I could find like 4 different type of jacket. I need something that let the wind flows through it good, so I don't drain as much sweat, or, you know, I don't lose a lot of, like, get heated up too quickly, you feel me? I just haven't got it yet, you know. So buying gear, despite whatever riding circumstances or weather conditions you're in, buying the right gear, there's a gear for everything, you know. I'm pretty sure they came up with gear for pretty much any riding situation or scenario. So, you know, should be no excuse to not have the appropriate safety gear, okay? And guys, that was the 5 points that I have for you at this time. Of course, there's a million points, and maybe I'll make another video about it in the future. But hey, if you got something that you want to add, if y'all want to see a particular type of video, if you guys liking these type of videos, let me know in the comments below. Leave a like if y'all are in general enjoying the content on the channel, though. You know, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, dropping these videos, man. We'll keep uploading. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, though. I will see y'all soon.